Welcome, everybody, to the Level Up Academy put on by the Good Business Colorado. This session is putting play to work for you. And we've got Tonya Milligan with us today. Before we get to Tonya, we want to make sure we thank our sponsors of this conference, obviously presented by Alpine Bank, Colorado Startup Fund, B-Side Fund, ARC, Connect for Health Colorado, Michael's Energy, and then we have a whole host of community sponsors, as you can see there. Today, we're honored to have with us Tonya Milligan of Rent to Theme Entertainment. And as I mentioned, she's going to do for us the Putting Play to Work for You session. Can we get a round of applause for Tonya, please?
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Let's get started. I want to say a little bit about why I do what I do. First of all, I think that passion comes from a problem. You know, when we talk about athletes, we know their challenge. It comes from a problem or a challenge, I would think. And when we look at athletes, we think they're challenging their bodies to do and to perform, and there's passion in that. I want to start where my passion started with play. My kids grew up in a community here in Denver, Colorado, and it was in the 90s. The community is called Montbello. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that area, but in the 90s, it had a reputation of being that in the 90s, in that summer, it had a reputation of being bloody summer. There was a lot of gang violence. At that time, my son was 7 years old, and I think that's when my passion started. I'm going to give you a quick story where I think it ignited. I was out in the front yard planting daffodils, so you know it was probably fall this time of season, and a car whipped around the corner and screeched, his tires screeching, and there was another kid, probably about 15, 16 years old, that was walking. That car screeched around the corner. The kid walking started yelling at the car and banging on his chest, "Shoot me, MF, shoot me." Of course, he wasn't saying MF. And he said that a couple of times before, when the car stopped and you could see guns come out the window. I was frozen, kind of watching, and just then my 7-year-old son came walking around the corner. I was 27 because I had him when I was 20, and I was trying to rush him in, and I saw that kid go down. Now, I had read, you know, all the gang violence this summer. I read the paper, that for those that are old enough to know, that's how we used to get our news. I was reading the paper, so we saw kids. You know, there were kids in Montbello and then Park Hill, East Denver. There were shootings, and I was aware of it. And I was aware. We've even heard gunshots, but I never saw a child go down. And it impacted me. And I think that was the problem right there, and that's where my passion started. I was adamant that my son would do well and that my kids would do well. And I worked in the schools. I have 17 years in the educational field, and I know the benefits of education and how it gives people hope. But it also inspires learning. So I was passionate about my son being given that hope. My son now is an orthopedic surgeon. My baby girl is an engineer. So I know the power of play. And so that's why I'm here, and I want to share what I've learned about the benefits of play with you. So the problem is, if you're an employer, which I am, I've owned Rent a Theme Entertainment since 2009, so for about 14 years. And we've been doing play events. Now, more than ever, these are some of the problems or challenges that might arise within the workplace. Of course, stressed employees, disengaged employees, all the different things that we've been experiencing, especially after post-pandemic. It's like hardly no one wants to work, they say, but I think they're just not inspired enough. And that's the passion that we have to share. So this is the problem. How does it manifest? Of course, we know quiet quitting, that low initiative. Nobody wants to take the opportunity to make things better. How do we inspire people to really, to help us, to work with us, to feel our passion? Of course, people quitting, lack of motivation, all those different things that we've experienced as business owners. But better ideas flow through happiness. I want to take this moment just to remind, or to kind of do an activity, because of course this is a play presentation. So while you're sitting there, if you'll just take a deep breath and slowly let it out. And then I want you to close your eyes if you don't mind. And I would like you to think of a place that you do not like to be. I know, first thing in the morning, but think of a place. And now think of 3 words that describes how you feel when you're in that place. I don't want to know the place that you're at, but if anyone is willing to raise their hand and tell me one of the words that they feel when they're in that place.
Just one of the words or all 3?
Well, share all 3 if you're willing, please.
Pain in mouth. Can you guess where I am?
Anyone else have 3 words that they want to share?
I only had one, and it was well, it's 3. Overstimulated, overstimulated, overstimulated.
Yeah, overstimulated. Okay. A place you don't like to be.
Irritated, loud, stuck.
Thank you for sharing.
I only have one, but uncomfortable.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, I was going to go with like overstimulated too.
Okay.
Cold.
Anger, depression, and self-determination.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going to leave you in that place. Now I want you to close your eyes again. And now take a deep breath. Let it out. And think of a place that you enjoy being, that you like to be there. Again, I don't want to know the place, but think of 3 words that would help describe that feeling that you're feeling when you're in that place. Enjoy that moment for a second, that place for a second, and then open your eyes. Okay. Well, you have the mic now.
I would think freedom, lightness, enjoyment.
Lightness, enjoyment. I love those words. Want to pass it?
Calm and connected. I don't have a third one.
Cozy, warm, peaceful.
Happy and warm.
Peace and connected.
Community humor.
Sovereignty, serenity, and creativity.
Okay. So with those words, we know that's the kind of environment where ideas are going to generate. That's the kind of environment that we want to create in our workplace environment. Places that people want to be. We need to be able to create calm, connecting, warm, creative places and spaces when we think about our work environment. And how do we do that? And play is like the best way. The best way. Innovative leaders use play. Why? Of course, we want to increase engagement, attract and retain that talent. These are all the reasons why we want to do that, why it's important to our bottom dollars, to our general health. Play is powerful. And I just put down a few of the things that we've learned about play, but creativity was one of the things that was listed in an environment that people want to be in. Increased productivity is huge in the workplace if you add play. I didn't hear an optimistic, but it produces joy. Everybody wants joy, right? Improves physical and emotional well-being, boosts the immune. You want people to be healthy at your workplace, add play. And there's a lot of research that has proven that it has that effect on our immune systems. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but it makes you smarter. And I've seen it. Again, I talked about using it for my kids. My son is a published mathematician as well. He was published by the age of 19. We used play in everything that we did. And it was not a household where it was like strict, but it was full of play. It was full of opportunities to be creative. And that's what we want to do for those that are around us. We want to create creative environments. And I just want to ask the question, how to add play to the workplace. Does anyone use any type of play right now in their workspace? Besides the experts? Because we have an expert in the house. Yes.
I have a lot of little fidget toys that I use like when I'm on meetings and stuff that are really helpful.
Yes, I love that idea. So having play objects sitting on your desk. One of the things that when I went and I did a short little meeting or a little presentation, I talked about the importance of just having, when somebody has to wait, having a puzzle at the corner of your desk, make waiting more pleasurable. Rather than a distraction, it gives them a different focus. So again, I believe that to create passion, you need a problem. We've already talked about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. Using all of our senses to incorporate play is an amazing idea. Now, when I grew up, and I'm 58 years old, don't mind telling you, but when I grew up, there was only 5 senses, right? And the 6th sense was a movie. I don't know about you guys, but it has now changed. And so balance is considered a sense. And so is proprioception, which proprioception. And I listen to that word over and over, and it's for, yes. It doesn't, and my tongue twists every time I say it. But basically, think about how our body moves unconsciously, how we are aware of the movement of our body. And then this one, nociception, I'm sorry. And that one is pain and being able to feel and sense, pain. So all of these things, now, we probably don't want pain in our workplace, but incorporating most of the senses in your workplace is an amazing idea. So making sure that maybe there's warm coffee that's brewing when your team comes in, or even a cookie day where there's warm cookies. My team comes in and they come in early in the morning. So having coffee ready is real great. But they also come back in the afternoon. And some Fridays, we just bake warm cookies. That's a form of play. Having the smell, the sense of, like a home environment when they come in before they get, ready to start their shift is an amazing opportunity to share that feeling and create that warmth that we talked about when we think about a place that we like to be. And 3 big myths about play. I noticed that it's hard to pull people in to talk about play because most people think play is not important. But that's so wrong. Play is not just for children. And I think when you think about some of the big executives, we know that they know that it's not just for children. We know it when there's a quote out there that says the one with the most toys wins at the end of life. We know that play is important. The other one is that it's a waste of time. It is so important to connect. And that was another word that we heard when we think about a place that we like to be. Play is the best way for us to connect and really get to know each other. I love the quote by Plato that says, well, it has been attributed to Plato, that says, you can learn more about a person in an hour of play than you can in a year of conversation. Think about that for a second. In a regular conversation, what am I going to do? I'm going to show you who I want you to see. I'm going to limit my interaction to maybe a persona that I want you to see. But when we start playing, if I'm a cheater, it's going to show. It's going to show. If I don't take losing well, it's going to show. And I say 5-year-olds have it best. Know just, the best way to connect and to really be at one with each other and really connect. They don't walk up and say, give you a list. Are you fair? What are the things you like? They don't give you a list. They just say, you want to play. And that's the best way to really connect and to get to know someone. Oh, and play is the blank. So I'm going to do this little, I guess, game in a sense. I'm going to say a word, and I would like for you to say the opposite. So up.
Down.
Over.
Under.
Big.
Small.
Tall. Play.
Work.
Yeah, so that works for a lot of people. I'm sure not you. Exactly. Dr. Stuart Brown said the opposite of play is actually depression. Yeah, so play is powerful in a lot of ways, but it is it's very powerful in the way that some people don't recognize. So as we go on, but it's not the opposite of work. Play has many secret names. So sometimes if I take the word play out of it and I use come and learn how to team build, people will come. We use icebreakers all the time when we do a meeting. Games, sports, hobbies, artistic expressions, all those ways are plays. Even when we close our eyes and we take a trip, an imaginary trip, that's play. So, does anybody want to share how they play? I'm going to say one of my favorite ways to play is gardening, as I mentioned before. I'm a gardener. Anyone else want to share?
All day, every day. Just kidding. Skiing is my favorite. That's how I get the
Yay,
flow.
skiing.
So, skiing's
Gardening, I think, is really high up there, and beekeeping is super high up there.
Ooh,
Super
lots
high
of
up there,
gardeners.
yeah.
Yay. We know how to play.
Beth loves her bees.
Get dirty.
Walking and hiking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's anything outdoors. So hiking, walking, skiing, all of it.
Karaokeing.
Yay! She's a really good one. Yay!
Chess.
Yay!
I'm glad you can find fun in that. For me, I've always played ice hockey.
Yay!
A lot of joy in skating.
So when we think about those things, the definition of play has been known as things that it says that that you do that doesn't have a purpose. I just heard so much purpose in every single one of those ways that we play. So we know that the definition might be flawed a little bit, and it must be a lot broader than it's been given, a title to or acknowledgement to. Yes, please.
Seemingly purposeless.
Yeah, seemingly it's purpose. I like that. But that's not what it said in the dictionary. You should have them correct it. Yes. Ways to deliver play. Add play to your meetings. So there's ways that we can add play in the workspace. We know it's not the opposite of work. We can use it to our advantage. We can actually put play to work for us. And so I have this, there's all kinds of ways to do it, but I have a little ball that we're going to toss around because, again, this is a play work presentation and we have to play. So I'm going to put the mic down and hopefully you guys can hear us, or maybe I'll pick it up when you get the ball. So this is just a ball that you can use in your staff meetings. I think it's like $35 off of Amazon, or you can go to the trainer's workshop. It's a really cool ball. I'm going to toss it to you. And where your thumb lands, if you'll read the question and answer it, if it doesn't resonate with your left thumb, try your right thumb, okay? Okay, so here we go.
With one free hour, I'd either play with my dogs or my bees.
Toss it to somebody.
The microphone is for the camera.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'd like to change. I'd like to change. Oh, that's a good one. I'd like to change. Okay, I'm gonna do a different one because I don't know what I would like to change.
Yeah, right thumb instead of left thumb.
Okay, hold on.
I'll hold this for you.
Okay.
Yay!
What makes me, oh, that's a good one. What makes me cranky is when I'm super overstimulated. And that's like a lot of auditory input usually and a lot of noise. Yeah. And now, oh, put it down.
Thank you. Nice catch.
My greatest strength at work, getting to know people, relating to them.
There you go.
Oh, that's session openers. Let's do this. Pet peeve at work. I don't really have one of those. I work for myself, so I don't know.
Good coworker.
With 1 free hour, I'd, I don't know, get a massage.
Ooh.
Throw it my way. It's all good. Yeah, here, toss it to me. We'll do it all right. Okay, let's see here. My childhood hobby was stamp collecting.
Yay.
Remember those? So you used to get them, and you had to put you had an envelope, and you put something inside it. You put a stamp on it. Yeah, I used to collect those.
I remember those.
Everybody here's so young. I had to explain it to them. Do we get everybody? You want me to throw this at somebody? Oh, that's a bad toss. Good catch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oops, I forgot to. I have ADHD, so that's just, I forgot to finish this statement. I don't know. I bet I forgot to
Drink water.
drink. I always forget to drink water. I forgot this water bottle is not mine because I forgot my water bottle. Oops, I forgot to bring my water bottle.
The world needs to not be wasteful and to be green and sustainable.
Yay! And mine is I'm here because I like to share the benefits of play. Yay. So, add play to your meetings. Even if you're not creative, there's easy things that you can find to help you to do that in your workspace. Host a team building play session. There's lots of people that will come into your space that will do it for you. They do charge most of the time, but it's worth it because you'll get the benefits of it. Designated day of the week as a play day. So every Friday. And it doesn't have to be something huge. You could just have a casual Friday where you wear jeans. It could be a food Friday where people bring in different desserts. Do we have any volunteers to just share some ways that they could, things that they've done in the past for a play day? Anything you've done for yourself, because since you work for yourself? No?
I don't incorporate a lot of play. Not that I wouldn't like to. It's just like it's not my natural mode. Thank you. Sorry. But I'm willing.
Yay. Well, I work for myself a lot of the time, and I'm in the office from early to late, and I make sure that I just take an hour sometimes and go for a walk. And sometimes I even dance with my headphones on as I walk. And I don't mind if people see me. So just live life more playful. If you can think about ways to incorporate play so that when you get back to the office, and I will say, I probably was not the person that most people would have thought would be a play advocate. I was very much a person that believed in not playing. I grew up in a Christian household, and there's some parts in the Bible that made me think play was not like accepted when you became grown. It said, when I was a child, I thought like a child, and then when I became an adult, I put away childish things, and I thought that meant play. So I was very much a person that believed that you work. I was the one that would have raised my hand to say that the opposite of play is work. So I relate very well with those people, and it took me a lot of time to understand the power of play. But first, watching it in my kids, and the training that I had about how kids learn, but then watching it in what I do as a play professional, and taking play to schools and to senior communities and to corporate events and seeing it work on a day-to-day basis, I realized that it is more powerful than you realize, not just for kids, but for adults. And really helping us to connect, helping us to generate new and innovative ideas, which is something we're always doing, because to stay ahead of the curve is really hard in small business. So you're always having to strategize. You're always trying to figure out ways to be more effective. So play does that for you. And of course, you can invite a company like Rent-A-Theme Entertainment to come and do a play experience. I will say ours are really big. So that's an opportunity. And yeah. Something unexpected. That's what play can be. You can do, this is one of our events where it starts off like this in your office and it turns into that. But you can create your own play spaces. Again, this is a family night where we bring in over 1,000 life-size blocks, where kids, Lego blocks, where kids can build castles and forts, but kids of all ages. Play is the game changer. Now, yes, we have huge, big games, but just think, you could have a game night with, and I'm going to ask someone to share an original idea, and I have a game night in a bag for you. So anybody have an original idea of a way that you've incorporated play in your workspace? Yay!
My favorite thing ever. So we have a community-run organization, and we throw a big beach party in December, and we have a ton of fun. We wear Hawaiian shirts, and we have a Hawaiian DJ, and we have food, and it's a great time.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
love that.
a lot of play.
idea. Thank you for sharing. And this is, like I said, a game night in a bag. What it has in it is mini Jenga, a game board. I didn't bring the chess, man. Sorry. Dominoes, Connect Four, all in a little bag. So you could even make that for your employees. I did these bags for my guys, and you would be surprised how happy they were. It was like a date night in a bag, is what they said. It's a cheap date night, though, but it's still fun. Okay. Companies that use play. Everybody knows Google has incorporated play into their work area. My daughter, and I think I heard it mentioned a lot of times too, about having overstimulated environments, making sure a play day could be where you just play classical music and dim the lights a little bit. So there's all kinds of different ways you can be creative and use play. It could be, besides just dimming the lights, adding music. Of course, you could add the pool table or the ping pong table into your break room. You can see my enthusiasm for that because it goes flat after a while. So if you have enough money, though, you can move that out after 3 weeks and bring something else in. You can do that, but be creative, and it doesn't have to cost a lot. Decide on your play experience, set your dates, make arrangements, and then play. So I have another activity again. If you guys will please stand up. And I want you to find someone that you're not sitting next to and stand back to back with them. So somebody that you weren't sitting with, stand back to back. I think we have an even number, right? Yeah. Come up front if you can. Yay, thank you guys. Yeah, okay. Okay, you could be a triangle. And now, in the triangle, the person on the right, well, let's just start with you. And then everybody else, I want you to think of the person that you're standing next to or behind. Name 5 things that you noticed about that person. So if you're the tallest, you're the tallest of that. You're the tallest there. Tallest. So tallest person in the group. Name 5 things. Let's cut it down. Let's name 3 things of each person that's standing in your group. And if it's a group of 1, name 3 persons, 3 characteristics or 3 things about the person that you're standing next behind. Okay, go ahead. And you can do it amongst yourself. And okay.
One of y'all is tall.
AC's wearing bright colors. AC's always got an effusive personality. And I was kind of noticing her hair. I like the way her hair is today. The fellow behind me, he's impressed me as being sharp. He's impressed me as being engaged, and I think he's wearing denim. Did I get the denim right?
Yeah. Okay, now the next person.
This is hard.
Now, you don't have to switch, but now you don't have to switch. Did she already go? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then you're good. After that.
We really own it when we do. It's welcome purpose. Yes. Yeah. That's what we're supposed to get. My friends are always like, hey, did you in my pocket? I think
Yeah.
Wow.
My favorite belt.
I know. Can you guys even hear me? I'm like
Yeah.
talking upside down.
Yeah.
I noticed that Michael does have a very good presentation voice, and like ease of talking. That you're intentional about creating gatherings. You were out there in the hallway like an airport announcer, and I actually also noticed your Colorado belt.
Thank you.
True. I want to know you because I think it was really cool that you said something kind of positive about the place that you didn't like being, which I just thought was really incredible. And then also that you look very comfortable today, and I think I'm just stuck on the thing about the self-determination. That counts for twice. I was just like, oh, that's really impressive.
Yay. Okay, with this activity, what did you feel like you gained from this? Does anybody want to share what they gained from this quick little activity? Did you gain anything? Do you feel like you came out perfect?
No, and now I'm with the microphone. Yeah, I feel like it kind of brought awareness to what I was paying attention to. Because as soon as you're back to back, you're like, oh, now I'm not. Now I have to just recall it from my memory. And so I'm like, what was I paying attention to?
Well, because
Yeah.
We have ADHD, and sometimes it's really hard to remember what we paid attention to even 4 seconds ago. So it did. I like that it made me like, okay, what did I pay attention to? And then I felt more connected to them. Yeah.
I like what she said. It made you feel more connected. That's something I hear a lot about when you start having to pay attention to somebody. Even if you have to recall it in your memory, you're singling out an individual for who they are. And sometimes we forget to do that. We just kind of glaze over and we don't focus on who we're with. And it's about being more present and being more aware. So I love that it was a connection. Does anybody else have any thought of, it seemed that it eased the environment a little bit too. Do you notice like all of a sudden, like we're a group. Yeah. So we feel that by just recognizing each other, you know, even if it was something as small as a belt buckle, whatever it is. So that's a good way as leaders that we can incorporate play and just create environments where the environment is lighter and easier for us to talk and to connect. And we can do that through playful ideas. Did anybody else feel like anything happened besides those things? Okay, you guys can sit down. Thank you so much for your participation. Again. So, we're almost to the end of our presentation. I had one other team building activity that I was hoping we could do. But before we start that, I wanted to tell you about a little story that, again, when I talk about focus and what play can do, when I, again, started this company, I, as I mentioned, didn't really want to do it. It was just something I thought, ew, play's not for me. I worked in a school for 17 years, Denver Public Schools for 10, 7 years at Cherry Creek, and it was really hard for me to just decide to leave my job and start something completely new. So in the process of it, I was, like I said, searching for the benefits of play and trying to understand it. I read a book by Dr. Stuart Brown called Play, and the Science of Play, and it was powerful. At the same time, I was doing I don't know if I was doing it, my mom was doing it. So she feeds the homeless, and she had been doing that for years, and she kind of pulled me in and was like, she needed a ride because she doesn't drive. So I was her driver. And then since I was there the whole time, it was like I can't just sit on my bottom because I believe in work. So I'm going to wash the dishes. I'm going to do all the things. And so I was setting the tables. I also like parties and to have fun. So when I was setting the tables, I would, put like little Bibles on the table and incorporate them into the centerpiece. And I would also, put food like oranges so that they could take the pieces of the centerpiece for them. It's like, take it when they're getting ready to leave, because an orange, might need it later. So I would do that. But when I was really thinking about starting my business, I decided to incorporate play into the table setting. So that day I brought in paper and crayons and lots of puzzles. And you'll have one of those little puzzles, and you probably have seen them. The ones that just kind of, the balls move around and you got to try to set the balls or jump them over and they have to settle in. So I had those on the table as well, just on table after table. And the homeless people started to stroll in. And it's right off of Colfax where we feed the homeless. And as they were coming in, they picked up the tables. Oh, let me tell you what she had cooked. Because my mom is from Louisiana. Yes, from Shreveport, Louisiana. And so she had cooked some prime rib that she had smoked on the grill. Green beans and homemade mac and cheese. It was like one of my favorite days. And she had cooked those things, and it smelled amazing in there. And as they were coming in, this is their meal that they're going to get probably like no other for the rest of the month, I'm sure, until next month. They came in, they picked up the puzzles, and they were playing. And then these are grown men that kind of look rough. They started giggling as they were moving the pieces, right? And usually when they come in, they're really solemn, it's not a happy place all the time. I mean, like, they appreciate the food. They always say thank you, but it's not happy. So they're playing with these puzzles. They're giggling. They're jousting with each other. How far did you get? Did you get it? And they're passing all the puzzles around. I bring out the food. And this is still when I'm like, play is not for kids. It's just for kids. I'm bringing out the food, and I'm like, this food is serious. Y'all need to eat. And they were like, as soon as I get this last piece. And I couldn't believe it. And so the pastor came down. He had been at an event where he didn't get any sleep. He came down, sat down next to the brick wall, put his head back, and seen my puzzle. Picked up the puzzle, and he started playing. So all these grown men just playing and giggling with puzzles blew me away. And it was during the time I was reading this book again by Dr. Stuart Brown. I was just completely floored at what I saw. They didn't eat that food until they finished those puzzles. So I go home, I'm finishing my book, and then I tried to Google, and this is in 2009, I tried to Google, what does God think about play? Nothing came up. Have you ever Googled something and it just is blank? That's what happened. Nothing came up. Now something comes up, but back in 2009, which didn't seem that far, nothing came up. And I felt in my spirit that God said, it's not play, it's practice. I was looking for the wrong word. And when I started thinking about that way, think about when you see a puppy playing and he's like darting around. He's practicing. In that play, he's practicing his hunting skills. When you think about a 6-month-old baby that's bouncing on your lap, right? And at 6 months, they love that game. It's a play. But what they're doing is they're strengthening those muscles in their legs for walking. I think that play is us practicing the things that we need in life, but it's a gift because it's enjoyable as we do it. So play is more than just that. And when I grasped that, I was like, oh my goodness. So that's why when my kids were playing, my son, who loved to play, I don't know what he was playing. He was always mixing up stuff. He's good. But he became a doctor. He's mixing up stuff now, too. And so when you look at how we play, a lot of times you'll see that we're practicing. Even when we're practicing, football, all the things that they're learning out on a football field. They're learning, first of all, if you've ever seen, even Little League, they got to be on time. They've got to, work as a team. All those things that you're learning in play, you're practicing things that are going to advance you in life. So an acronym I use often for play, PLAY, is you're practicing living authentically you. And if you do that in life, and as you lead, as leaders, you'll be more effective and you'll be more powerful using play. So thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah, can we get a round of applause? Practicing living authentically you. That's amazing.
And play.
Do you want to take a few questions? We don't have to abandon
I definitely
the room.
do. I would love to answer any questions someone may have. Do we have questions at all?
Practicing living authentically you. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have business cards?
I do. Thank
I
you.
want one too. Can we give her one more round of applause then? That was an excellent presentation, Tonya. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. It was my pleasure.